The way I see the future for this transition is going to be about a balancing act. So it's really, as you have mentioned, there are different variables that we have been addressing separately or in silos from each other, as if they belong to different communities. But if there are lessons learned from last year, is that actually ensuring energy access that is affordable, reliable, and reducing emission at the same time are sort of two phases of the same coin.
I think we have now the right discussions. I mean, for a long time, politicians have thrown out big targets in CO2 emissions. Now we are discussing big targets of employing technologies, gigawatts, and so on. But now the next wave is how do we all put the puzzle pieces together, that we start with what we need from the demand side, but also how do we put the supply chain in place that we can actually deliver on the promises being made.
You know, previous to the energy crisis, there was huge public support for the transition and climate policy, like 90 to 10%. But the energy crisis in Europe, and this was a comment from a participant in Europe, basically says that those figures are flipped now, that the public wants affordability and climate is secondary. And this is a critical thing for us to keep in mind as we go about keeping our ambitions very high. We have to manage the transition, because if we lose the public support because high prices and volatility, because we haven't been investing in hydrocarbons or in critical minerals, this is going to undermine public support. And we got a little taste of it, I think, with this energy crisis. And if we don't address this underinvestment issue, I think the new normal is going to be high prices and volatility, and that's not good for the global economy. It's not good for public support for climate change, and ultimately it's not good for climate progress.
Going back, I mean, it was all about renewables producing green electricity and then green molecules, but now it's totally clear that that will take a very long time, and we have actually faster ways to decarbonize and put carbon into the ground by also using CCS technology. And of course, that is something where the oil and gas industry can play a very relevant role. And by that, accelerating actually the decarbonization.